Yeah, my dogs are very confused because I just brought this table out into the light. I brought it close to the window, and they're both like, What's going on?" This table has a lot of character, like my hair right now. um, yeah, I didn't brush my hair when I woke up this morning. I just made coffee, walked the dogs, did my thing. So I'm kind of rearranging things in my office and in the living room, and I had this thought. In the early 80s, when I was a kid, there was a sub shop in the town that I lived in, and it had a lot of character. It had like this dark wood that had been stained and varnished, and all the tables were made out of the same wood. The tables were like pitted and scarred. There was like graffiti that was carved into the tables, because it had, I think the shop had been there since 1971 or 72. And, you know, it was 1981 when I was a little kid going to this sub shop with my brothers and my dad. And it had a lot of character. It felt like a lived in place. And I liked it. It was a place that I went back to when I was older, when I was old enough to drive. And, you know, I was with someone who wanted to make the trip. I would go back to my hometown and and go to this sub shop. And I remember one time I went into the town, and I must have been 21 or 22. They had completely remodeled. The old tables were gone. The walls were repainted. And I'm sure that the recipes hadn't changed. They're making the same kind of subs that they always had, but there was something about the place that just didn't feel right anymore, and it didn't taste as good. The subs didn't taste as good. The experience wasn't the same. And the next time I went back to town, it wasn't even there anymore. I think it was replaced by a Subway. And a couple of years later, I think the Subway died, and now it's nothing. You know, I drive past that street, and there's nothing there. There's not even a restaurant or anything. It's been changed. And I think about that because this table has a lot of character. It has like a chip taken out of it. There's like a weird stain here. There's like these flecks of paint that have stuck to the surface. There's like weird scratches. And, you know, you can tell from the surface. I don't know how the resolution is going to pick up this, but like there's definite like imperfections in this table. This is a table that's been used, and it has character. And there's like a certain part of me that says, "Oh, I should get a new table." But then there's a bigger internal part of me that says, "No, I've had this table for years. All of these imperfections are because I've used the table. It's a good table." And I guess I don't have a real point other than just because something looks new, or something is refurbished, or a place is renovated, doesn't make it better. It's from my perspective, it's ephemera. You know, like it's something having to do with mood, and there's a kind of tactileness or a sensation of being around something that you know has been used, that you know is of value, you know. And that's not something that you can just generate. You can't make it look like that. You can't make it feel that way. It has to actually be used. And I guess I think about this a lot because I'm working in in a place where I'm making things out of wood every day, and they always look nice and new and shiny because they are. I'm putting pieces of wood together and making them have all like 90-degree angles and sharp edges and clean looking, and it doesn't necessarily make them good. It just makes them look neat. It makes them look a certain way. Part of doing woodworking is like sometimes you make a mistake and you got to fix the mistake, and fixing the mistake usually involves glue and more nails and faking it. There's things in wood like pitch pockets. Like you have no idea how many pitch pockets there might be in your home. Like when I look at the surface of wood now, I'm constantly thinking like what kind of, there might be imperfections in there that I don't even know about. So yeah, just because something looks nice doesn't mean it is. And maybe you don't feel the same way, but there's a kind of a grittiness, a physicality to something that looks like it has usefulness, like it is something that wasn't used once and then discarded. It's been around, and it's been a part of somebody's life. I got this table used, actually. There's like a circular water ring that was part of the table. I don't even know if that will pick up on the resolution, but there's like this circular ring. Somebody left something sitting on it, and I remember thinking, well, it's got that ring, but whatever. It's still a solid table, you know. And now you can barely see it because I've used it so much that there's scratches and paint marks and ink marks and all these different things. I don't know when that chip happened, but I'm sure I did that too. So that's all. That is the entirety, the breadth and the length of everything that I was thinking about, and I thought I would just share it.